Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Hardcore FBB Podcast. Today, I have a special guest all the way from Australia, IFBB Pro Women's Physique, Lidia Dichiera. Hi, Lidia.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me in this
Thank you.
podcast. First of all, I wanted to ask you, is your name of Italian origins?
It is, yes.
Okay, because I'm Italian and I could
Yeah.
spot it straight away.
Yeah, so in
you
Italian
speak
you pronounce it Dichiera, but in like
Dichiera?
English
Yes.
slang we say Dichiera, but yeah, Dichiera, yeah.
Dichiera, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I was pronounce it with because I was born and bred in Milan, in Italy, but then I moved to the
beautiful.
UK later in my
Yeah.
20s. But
Yeah.
I'm a proud Italian, so it's great
So am I.
to hear. Yeah, excellent. Can you speak any Italian by any
I
chance?
can, yeah. Not like I can. I used to speak it a lot more fluent because we grew up, my like nonno and nonna, like we lived with them. And since they passed, we don't speak it as much. But yeah, my parents were both born over there. I was obviously
Oh,
born here,
right.
but yeah.
Okay. From which part, if I can ask?
My dad
Of
was
Italy?
from Calatria in Calabria, and mum was from a
Calabria?
little
Yeah.
town called Macchiacordona in Abruzzo.
Abruzzo, okay,
Yeah,
nice.
a bit of a mix.
Awesome, yeah. A bit of a mix. That's great. But you were born in Australia,
In
right?
Australia, yeah.
Excellent.
Mm.
Okay. By the way, I love Australia. I've been 20 years
Yeah.
ago, and one of my favorite
Yeah.
holiday ever. Yeah.
It's nice.
All
Yeah.
right. Hello. So it is indeed. So let's get into the bodybuilding topic
Yes.
of this podcast. So, Lydia. So basically, we can start with your season in 2025.
Mhm.
Yeah, you competed in Romania at the Muscle Fest.
Yeah.
I was there. I saw you getting on that stage. I didn't knew you at that time, but I
Yeah.
was very, very impressed by
Thank
your
you.
physique and your conditioning on stage.
Yeah.
It was a very tough lineup for
Yeah.
women's physique. You placed top 4, if I remember correctly.
Four.
Or top
Yeah.
4, which was really good considering there were many Olympians competing
Yes.
on that show. So was that your pro debut or you
Yeah,
already?
it was my pro
Ah, it was
debut.
your-
Yeah.
Wow. So that's
Yeah.
even more impressive. So how was your experience for your pro
Yeah,
debut? Can you tell us about this?
it was amazing. Romania, like the Romania Muscle Fest show was incredible. Like Alina Popper and the way they organized. Honestly, the event ran very, very smoothly. So I'm lucky that in Australia I work very closely with Tony Doherty, like the president of IFBB in Australia. I help out at all of their shows every season. So I'm kind of used to the back end and how things work. So to sort of take a back seat and be a competitor, it was ran so smoothly. From like the Rego night to the tans definitely. I'm so glad I picked that show. The vibe was phenomenal and the crowd, the audience, but I think just everything, the way the night ran, even there was a few like questions I had before the show, like I emailed Alina within not even 24 hours, I had a response back. So it was,
all right, that's good.
yeah. So I definitely can't speak highly enough about the show. The experience was great. Like obviously being my pro debut, I guess I didn't know what to expect going into it because I turned pro in 2023 and I just wanted to focus on putting on much more size. I knew that, what the pro league was going to be like. And, I didn't want to do my pro debut and come dead last. So, obviously you always want to do well, but, I always set my expectations very high. So, so me and my coach literally just focused on building for the next, about 18, 19 months. And then we went into prep for Romania. So, I'm mean, my physique had changed like drastically in that time, and the amount of like muscle density and size we were able to put on. I think I was like, you know, we like added like 9 kilos of lean muscle mass in that 2 years. So
Wow. Yeah,
so
that's impressive.
it was definitely worth the wait and worth the build. Yeah, but the show itself, yeah, it was definitely a tough lineup. But I mean, even to, you know, placing fourth was amazing. You know, my goal was top 5, and then it was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, can we crack top 3? And you know, but look, of course you want to win. I'm not going to say, you know, you don't want to win, but to come fourth against, you know, like you said, Olympians, I definitely was proud of the package.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, you came top 4, and top 2 and top 3 were Carol Alves and Paula
Paul.
Ranta, who
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
all Olympians. Carol Alves qualified for the Olympia like 5 times.
Yes.
So, I mean, being head to head with them, fighting for that top 3 position with them,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
really great achievement, especially if your pro debut.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Yeah, I was happy with it.
and I saw your progress, and yeah, in the last year and a half, couple of years, you made some tremendous
Yeah.
improvements, and
Yeah.
very impressive.
Yeah.
When I saw you on that stage, you showed lots of confidence. It felt like you were on that pro stage for a long time. So it
Yeah.
didn't even feel like, because honestly, if it was me stepping on the
Yeah.
pro stage, I would be shaking. I would be
Yeah.
so nervous. I would be,
Well,
but
I
yeah,
did when I
you
first went
owned
out
it.
on stage, as good as I felt, I did feel a little bit shaky, and I was like, fuck, I hope they can't see that.
Oh, trust me, from the audience, and I was there,
Yeah.
first row. I didn't notice anything. Actually, I
Yeah.
took a video of you during your individual presentation. If you
Yeah.
remember, we did a
Yes.
collaboration,
Yeah.
and you can see on that video, yeah, that you were so calm, so
Yeah.
confident, posing, smiling. So you were
Yeah.
owning the stage, and that
Thank
was
you. Yeah, I
really
think
good.
I was
That was.
when by the time show day come, I must admit I did feel surprisingly very calm, because in the lead up, and it's a big flight from Australia. It was like 36 hours to get there, and so you
Yeah.
know we got there at the start of peak week, and it was a rough week. Like it was a good week. Everything was going according to plan, but I really pushed through every day, and I was really nervous up like right up until show day, and I woke up show day morning and I felt really good. And I must admit, when I got to the show, like I was with my coach,
Yeah.
obviously, and my partner, and I was just so relaxed. And we didn't have much time, even though we got there early. They obviously called us all backstage very early ahead of time. So that was a bit
Okay.
unexpected. But yeah, and then we just, you know, organized our plan, what I had to do backstage. And I was very calm, which was, yeah, I thought I was going to be really nervous before I stepped out. So it was good. I'm glad it kind of worked out that way. Yeah, that I wasn't freaking out,
Oh
but yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
especially as you said, that traveling all the way from Australia, I think
Oh,
is one
yeah.
of the farthest place on earth
I
to
know.
travel to.
Oh.
So do you retain water, or do you get affected by these long flights,
Yeah, well,
especially
so
just
this was
before? Yeah.
this was the first international flight I'd done for competing. So that's, you know, the plan was to get there 8 or 9 days before. So, you know, because we didn't know how my body was going to respond. When I turned pro, we had a couple of interstate flights to do, but they were like an hour or two. So we did
Yeah.
all the right things, you know, had my compression tights and everything like that. And when we did arrive to Romania, I was just holding a little bit of fluid like in my legs and my ankles and things like that.
Okay.
But within 24 hours that did all
They were back.
subside. But yeah, it was like a 36-hour travel in total, and just organizing like
36
the
hours.
meals and the different time zones, so we still knew what I was eating what day. And it was,
That's
but
yeah.
yeah,
That
by the
makes it
time we got there,
even more tough.
it was great, don't get me wrong, but by the time we got there, I didn't even want to carry any luggage. Like between my coach and my partner, they were carrying everything. I was like, I'm lucky to carry my bottle of water. I was like, just give me a
Okay,
bed
that's
to lay
good.
down.
It's good. It's good that yeah, you were traveling yeah, with people that
Yeah,
were,
of
of course,
course.
making
Yeah.
it smooth for you, because
Yeah,
yeah, at
definitely.
the end, at the end of the day, yeah, you're not going on holiday, you're going to compete. So every
Yeah.
little details
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah,
So
of course. And I
yeah.
think, it is like, I love Australia, but yeah, being here, like, 36 hours, like it is a big difference when you've got, being overseas, when you've got, and like what we call a domestic flight, 1 to 2 hours, but here it's so far when you do shows, that far away, but
Mhm.
it just is what it is, I guess. Yeah.
It is what it is, and everything
Yeah.
worked out well. So
Yeah.
that's what meant. How many days you said that you arrived in Romania? 9 days before the
We
show.
got there eight days before the
Eight
show.
days. Okay,
Yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah, and
That's really
that's why
good
we
because
thought just in case there is, and even none of us had been to Romania before, so just finding the food that we needed and all that kind of stuff. We didn't want to get there. I didn't want to get there like 4 or 5 days before. If it was an interstate flight, different, but
yeah.
something that big, yeah, I just didn't want to risk it. Yeah.
No, of course, of course.
Yeah.
That was you planned everything ahead
Yeah.
properly. That's important. So
Yeah.
you said that you got your pro card in 2023. Was
Yes.
it still in already in women's physique, or you were competing in another division before?
Yeah, so funny story. So I did earn my pro card in women's physique, but when I was actually
Okay.
prepping for the show, I was prepping for figure. So I had previously,
Oh,
prior to that, I had earned my pro card with another federation, and then it was for figure, and so I sort of just didn't find I just didn't really align with that federation anymore. They were kind of steering away from what bodybuilding
okay.
is. So that's where I just
All
loved
right.
everything about the IFBB. So I came over, and the plan was figure, and that's what I was kind of that's what I was prepping for, and then when it got to, so they have, because there's like 6, different states in Australia. They have, each state has a
Yep.
show, like a regional show, and then you
Okay.
have the pro qualifier. So Melbourne, where I am, was the
Oh,
final
you're in
state
Melbourne.
show. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Melbourne was the
Victoria
final
State.
state
Yeah.
show of, the Victoria one. So we
Victoria.
were the
Hmm.
final state show of the season, and then 1 week later was the national, the pro qualifier. So when I got to stage on that day, Tony, after I'd done my first, like my first stage appearance as figure, he actually pulled me aside before the medals or anything was announced, and he said, like you look incredible, like, but I need you in physique, like I can't have you here, like your size, your condition, like you're dominating the
Yeah.
girls here. I need you in physique. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, but when do you mean? And he was like, no, today, like, as in after here, I need you to step out in physique. And I was like, no, I don't know any of the poses. Like, I don't want to look like
Ooh,
an idiot. So I still
then you
finished
need a
the Melbourne
routine
show.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I finished the Melbourne show. I still did the figure, and I think I placed third in that division. And then after the show, he's like, let's have a chat. And he's like, you need to do like women's physique. So I literally had 6 days before the pro qualifier to learn the posing and and to bring my conditioning
Wow.
even drier, striated to meet the criteria. And we did it.
And you
We
did it.
did it.
Wow. Well,
And we did it. So
I mean,
it was a wild six
but
days. To this day, I just like, praise my coach, because I was like, I don't know what we need to do in this next 6 days, but I'll just be guided by you. So it was, like a matter of trying to keep me full and not lose my size, but getting the condition they needed. And so it was a very big 6 days and just learning the posing. And I was very lucky that Bev Francis was also head judge at the show that
oh,
day. Yeah,
Beth
so
Francis.
it
Actually,
was,
I had her in one of the next questions because I know her as the pioneer of Australians female
yes.
bodybuilding. But I'll come to that later.
Yeah.
But so she was in the judging
So she
panel,
was
a
there. So
judge.
it was phenomenal. Yeah, she was head judge for that show. So after the show and was over, and when I won, like obviously I went to have a chat with her, and she was the one that said, she said, look, you were undeniable, condition was untouchable and everything, and she said, before you hit the pro stage, just focus on adding more size. And so I was like, all right, that's what we're doing. So and that's what we did. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, considering that within a week you managed to learn the posing,
Yeah.
prepare, get the conditioning, and the
Yeah.
size, I guess you already had
Yeah.
the size needed required for
Yeah.
women's physique. But of course, the conditioning, and you
Yeah.
still nailed it and got your pro card in women's
Yeah.
physique is very, Very impressive. Who was, you said that they told you to move to women's physique. Who was it? Like the judge at the previous
Yeah,
competition when you
so
did
at the Melbourne show, Tony. So Tony's the president of IFBB in Australia.
Ah,
Tony
it was
Doherty.
Tony. Yeah,
Tony
okay.
Doherty. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, so
You
he's
saw straight away.
which was great. Like it was literally the best thing I could have done was obviously listen to him. So, it was a curveball, like 6 days out, but I was like, oh well, we like a challenge, and
Yeah,
that's just what we got to
exactly.
do.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, okay, you didn't get the pro card, but at
Yeah,
least you could try, and it worked
yeah,
out very well. So
yeah.
that's what.
Yeah, no, I'm forever grateful that he did suggest that because I did, even though it was like 6 days, I had to kind of learn everything. I did just fall in love with it, and I was like, oh yeah, I felt like that was the
Awesome.
division I was meant to be in. So I was, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah,
Yeah, no, exactly. Especially nowadays, I see in the figure lineup there are
mm,
some incredible girls
mm,
which look fantastic. However, they are bigger in size. They are too conditioned,
yeah,
and it's very borderline with women's
yeah,
physique. And sometimes judges tend to penalize that in
yes,
women's figure. So
yeah,
that's why it's worth making the swap, the
yeah,
switch to
yeah.
to women's
Yeah,
physique. And
absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm glad that I did. Yeah, it did work out well.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. And you love the division, right? The
Oh yeah, I
posing.
never looked back. Never figure what
Never
like.
look back. And no
never,
heels. And no heels as
no
well. This
heels.
is something. This is something that athletes that switch from figure to physique always appreciate. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. Yeah, definitely a bonus.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And I mean, after the 2025 season, I've been following your
Yes.
progress on Instagram, and I can see that since this
Mm.
2026, this new year, you've made tremendous
Yeah.
progress. You gained a lot of size.
Mm.
What is your plan, Lydia, this
Yeah.
season? Do you have
Yeah.
already something
So we
planned,
haven't
cooking?
look. Yeah, we haven't. In all honesty, we haven't got anything set in stone just yet. So I'm very lucky to have the incredible support of my coach, and he he'll obviously be traveling with me. So we need to work around his schedule, his family, and he's got a lot of competitors in the Australia Pro
Yep.
qualifier. So I'm blessed to have his support and him travel with me. So we're just trying to work out a few things. So it's definitely going to be the back end of the year. I did look at a couple of shows that I, had my eye on, like as in, Germany. And then there was,
Oh,
like Mexico's another one I've been looking
oh,
at.
that's a big show that is coming up lately. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did.
Last
Yeah. So
year was really good. And Natalia
yeah.
Coelho, I think, competed there,
Yeah,
right?
well, because
I think.
it
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
week after Olympia, and she ended up
Yes.
doing it. Yeah. So there was so we've kind of looked at a couple of those shows. I mean, the other show that I even I wanted to do last year, but it just logistically wasn't going to happen. It was a week after Romania was the Brazil show.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I
That's a
think it
good one.
works out the same again this year. I think it's a week after Romania. So we haven't got specific shows or date yet. It's definitely going to be towards the end of the year. So probably within the next month, we'll have that ironed out. So we sort
Okay.
of said, yeah. So obviously the plan was to continue the build, and my feedback from Romania, the feedback was great. Like they said my lower body was incredible, condition was incredible, just a little bit more
Yeah.
width through my lats, which we knew, that's what the feedback was we thought we were going to get. So we were happy with that. So that's been our main focus. So, so within the next like 4 or 5 weeks, I think we'll have a set decision on which shows, but just nothing 100% set in stone yet, So,
All right.
and again, just trying to, I mean, even though it was just one show that we did in Romania, like I definitely don't regret it. It would have been good to add other shows, but at the end of the year,
Yeah.
it is, it is hard, as with women's physique. Like, there's 30 shows in comparison to wellness or
True.
bikini, where there's like 90 shows to
Yeah.
pick from.
Yeah. And also, I mean, coming from Australia, it means because you don't have pro shows in women's physique in Australia, right?
No, we don't have
So
any
you have
pro
to
shows in
travel,
Australia.
yeah, either to Europe or
Yeah.
America, yeah.
And then some of the countries that might be a little bit closer for us, you know, like even some of the Asian countries or things like that, there's no
They
women's physique. There's like
no women's
bikini,
physique,
even
yeah,
New
and
Zealand.
figure maybe.
New
New
Zealand's a pro
Zealand.
qualifier and it's very close for us to travel, but it's like bikini, men's physique. We're not in it. So
Okay,
so the
okay.
ones that are
Well,
close to home, unfortunately, we're not included. If not, we could definitely do, you know, maybe half a dozen shows this year. But yeah.
yeah. But well, I mean, you said that you're looking at shows towards the end of the year. So yeah, in Europe, definitely there is Germany, the one in
Yeah.
Offenbach in September, which I was
Yes.
there last year.
Yeah.
Really, really good show.
Yeah.
Great organization. What I really liked about that show was the energy in the crowd.
Yeah.
When it was apart that they sold all the tickets, sold out
Yeah.
more than 10 days before
Yeah.
the show. It was,
Yeah.
but the energy, and also when the women's physique, women's bodybuilding came
Yeah.
out, you should see the crowd, how involved they were, cheering, clapping
Yeah.
hands, shouting to their favorite
Oh,
athletes.
yeah.
It was the energy was
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Which
So
is
that's
great because I guess, you know, as you would know as well, like women's physique and women's bodybuilding, you know, it's getting eliminated from
I know,
shows and, you
yeah,
know, it's just, it's a shame that it's not as
that's a
inclusive as, you
shame.
know, yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame. I was at the Arnold's Classic last weekend in
Oh,
Birmingham,
yeah.
UK.
Amazing.
I was
Yeah.
there. Amazing, amazing expo shows, but
Mhm.
it was missing the female
Yeah.
bodybuilding. So there were
Yeah.
no competition. I think, yeah, they had only bikini, not figure. They had
Wellness.
wellness
Yeah.
and fitness. That's it. They
Yeah.
removed everything from figure all the way to
Yeah.
women's body, which was a shame. And even in the expo, you couldn't see,
Yeah.
unfortunately, female bodybuilders hanging around, which I
Yeah.
found it a little bit sad because such a great event
Yeah.
would have been
Yeah.
a
Of
fantastic
course.
platform, but
Of course,
unfortunately,
and
yeah,
I
they
think if somewhere like the Arnold's did, you know, did include women's bodybuilding or women's physique, like the
yeah,
amount of competitors that would apply as well, you know,
yes,
they'd get an incredible lineup. You know, it's
absolutely,
ridiculous. Yeah.
absolutely. Actually, I posted last week a video about the Arnold's Classic in 1999 in Columbus,
Mm,
Ohio. Yeah, and they still had women's bodybuilding back then. There
bodybuilding.
were 19 girls competing on
Yeah.
that stage at the
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
1999.
Yeah, it was
It was
incredible.
absolutely amazing. I want that back.
I know.
But
I'm with you.
yeah, but there is a good, a positive sign. This
Mm,
next weekend, you probably heard there is this Triple O Dynasty show
yes.
organized by Andrea Shaw and Sid
Yeah.
Gillon. So they're going to
Yeah.
represent women's bodybuilding and figure. And
And
the
figure.
women's bodybuilding, yes, and the women's
Mm,
bodybuilding lineup has 13 athletes on
yeah,
that
which is amazing.
show.
Yeah.
13, which is a record, considering
Yeah.
that lately, if there were 5 athletes was a lot.
It
Having
was a lot.
13,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
it's a positive sign for
Yeah.
the upcoming season. So
Yeah.
we will
I think
see.
having those ladies behind it as well, like it's definitely going to help, you know, grow the division and hopefully, like you said, open up to
Absolutely.
other people to, you know, encourage to bring more, you know, more to their
Yeah.
shows or, you know, more categories, I should say. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm,
And the fact that more ladies are showing up at for
mm,
this event
mm.
is great. So I'm looking forward to this
Yeah.
show, and hopefully it's gonna be a boost for because. As you know, sometimes
Mm,
we hear from promoters say, there are not enough athletes, it's not marketable. I mean, I heard
mm,
it all, but
mm.
at the end of the day, one great thing that they have done for this show is when people book for the live stream, they can pick which division they are interested.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, you can use the code to get a discount, but if you put like the WBB code, it means that the ticket was purchased by people interested in the women's bodybuilding. So this
That's
way,
right.
the promoters can see that there are people interested, and they can understand. That's, I think, is a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
I agree.
it is marketable. We just need more shows and more athletes to step
absolutely.
on that stage. But
Yeah.
I feel positive. I think this
Yeah.
season is going to be great. And talking about popularity, one thing I've noticed in Australia is that female bodybuilding, especially in the women's physique division, has been growing fast. More and more Australian athletes have been stepping on the pro stage. I'm talking about like Olympian athletes like Tracy Gale or Sarah Crail or Christy Graham. She was 2 years ago here in the UK. I saw her got the pro card as well. So more, and yourself, of course. I mean, it's the women's physique division is very much alive in Australia.
Yeah, definitely. I think even in our like the regional and pro qualifier that we do twice a year in Australia, there's more even registering for those categories as well. Well, which is definitely great to see. Yeah.
Yes. And do you think? Because I'm always curious to understand why in some countries certain divisions are more popular than other. Like, for example, in Germany, it seems like they are very strong in figure. A lot of figure athletes are emerging in Germany. In Brazil, there are, of course, wellness and women's physique. They are, of course, wellness, but also women's physique, and they are also now making the difference in women's bodybuilding. Levina, Alcione, and I'm fascinated to understand if there is something also in Australia that try to push the women's physique division in particular, or is just a preference
I honestly feel like it's just a preference. Like, I feel like the last couple of seasons we have seen more competitors like register for women's physique. Figure's always been a popular one, but I feel like there's more from being at the shows and working at the shows every year. I feel like bikini's always there, but I feel like wellness is growing immensely. Like, there's always a lot of ladies in the wellness lineup, even the new fit model category. That's taken off really well. So I feel like in Australia, if I'm being honest, for the majority, I feel like it's the less muscular divisions that are popular, and then wellness would probably be next, and so it's just I feel like that's how it is in Australia. Like, you've still got as I said, even though the figure division's growing and physique, I still feel like the majority would be the other divisions.
But do you think that in the future in Australia there can be more focus and more attention in the bigger division for the future?
I think definitely figure. I see figure growing a lot in Australia. Again, women's physique, even though it is growing, I see figure growing at a faster rate.
I see. And how's the you said you live in Melbourne, right? How's the bodybuilding community over there? Is it strong, or do you have support? Do you have support as a professional athlete? Do you have support from your local gym, the local community, or a group of family and friends? You
Yeah,
get
definitely. It is a pretty big community in Melbourne, like the yeah, the
oh,
bodybuilding community.
nice,
So
great.
it definitely is, and even just through like the IFBB itself, it's definitely a very big community. I feel like we're quite close knit in Australia. Like with all the pros, like there's like WhatsApp groups and things like that where we are all connected, and you might not
Yeah,
know everyone on a personal level, but I feel like it is very supportive. And the last probably 12 months has probably been, I think, the best in Australian bodybuilding. The amount of Australian pros that have done overseas shows, like not just we've had, Ethan Gogori is like a men's classic physique. He's qualified for Olympia.
yep.
Danae, who's one of the wellness, she's obviously qualified for Olympia 3 or 4 times now. So,
Wow,
but
yeah.
there's been a lot of classic physique, bikini, just a lot of competitors, even a couple of open guys. Probably the last 12 months, there's been a lot of Australian pros like doing making names for themselves on the international pro stage, which is crazy. And I know there's a lot more, pros as well doing more shows this year. So I think that's good, because I think you go back 2-3 years ago, there might have been one or two, a few pros that sort of ventured out and did pro shows. But it's amazing now. Like there's always an Aussie that's getting their name out there. And like I said, to have some that are qualified for Olympia and some that have consistently been qualified for Olympia, that's incredible. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing when I hear about the growing of the
Yeah.
interest in the community. I'm always happy, especially when I
Yeah.
see athletes like yourself that are ambassador and spread
Yeah.
positive message and show
Yeah.
up on stage, and
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
really good, really important
Yeah. Of
for
course.
the sport. So yeah, you see, despite what has been going on and talking about the bigger division lately that been cancelled, but
Mm.
do you believe that there's still space, room to grow for the sport,
Yeah.
for this division, which
Yeah,
that's more
I think
very
so. Yeah, I
important.
mean, look, in like I said, I feel like the figure division in Australia is one that's getting much more popular. I'd hope that it would be something that would continue, to have the same spotlight, overseas and all the rest of it as well. It would be nice to see like the women's physique and women's bodybuilding, grow as much as well. Because I like, even though I'm not in bodybuilding, like I still love the women's bodybuilding division. I'm so
Yeah,
like
it's
impressed by it.
amazing.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
just,
yeah.
oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah, they are like the elite of the female bodybuilding,
Yeah.
the
No,
pure female
incredible.
bodybuilding. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and by the way, I remember from Australia there was back in the days Christine Embal, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she
Yes.
was a legend
Yeah.
back in the 2000, I think late
Yes,
90s,
I can't even think when that
2000.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a while ago, but yeah, she competed on all the major international
Yeah.
stages, Olympia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I rem
Yeah.
I remember she was labeled as Australia's most muscular woman back
Most
then.
must. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but
It's a
yeah,
good
she was
reputation
one
to
of.
have.
Yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. She had it for several years, I guess. Back then,
Yeah.
yeah, she was one of the biggest in the world as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one
It's
of the
crazy.
pioneers
Yeah.
that brought, that put Australia, I mean, bodybuilding, Australia's bodybuilding on the map
On the
back
map.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the very first one is Bev Francis
Bev.
when we
Yeah.
were, yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm.
I still I still remember her Miss Olympia 1991 or 92.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, that legendary, that she came second, but of course she
Yeah.
deserved the win. But I
Yeah.
guess the judges and the world was not ready to that sort of
For that.
hardcore
Yeah.
bodybuilding physique. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, she was definitely a
Yeah.
pioneer
Oh, she's
back then.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And yeah, you got the feedback from her as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if she says you are women's physique, it means that you
Yeah,
are
that's right. That's why when she said grow,
great.
I was like, okay, whatever you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, yeah, you are still in off season, or you started
Yeah,
your prep
yeah,
already?
still
No, you're still
building.
in off
Yeah, so
season.
we've so pretty much since we stepped off the stage in Romania, yeah, we sort of did like a bit of a like just a slow reverse diet, or reverse phase, like recovery, and then we went straight into our build phase. So so we'll keep pushing that, like I said, and then when we make a decision, then we'll obviously look at when we start to dial things back, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and also, yeah, to say I've seen a few pictures of you in off
Mm,
season. You look
mm.
incredible. You
No, thank you.
definitely put on, absolutely, you definitely
Yeah,
put on great quality size,
yeah,
great
yeah,
muscles. The shapes are there.
yeah,
All that nice roundness on your delts. Your
yeah,
back has grown compared
yeah.
to Romania. So
Yeah,
you are
definitely.
definitely
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the
We
right
do.
path.
We do a very like my off season's very structured. You know what I mean. So everything it's the exact same as prep. You're just in a you're in a calorie surplus. Like you are eating more and things like that. But yeah, but my off season is very very structured. So it's and I guess that's what makes prep just a much more seamless process. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
of course. And I mean, to go back in time, when
Mm,
was the moment that
mm,
you fell in love with bodybuilding? That you
yeah.
thought, all right, I like doing this. I want to become an athlete. I want to compete. When
Yeah.
was it?
So it was I was a late bloomer. I'm almost 42. So
Oh no,
I
you look definitely much younger than that.
oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I wish I was, but yeah. So I'm going to be 42 very soon. So when I
Okay.
first competed, I was 35. So I
All
was
right.
when I was younger, I was kind of like like in and out of fitness. Like when I was younger, I did gymnastics and netball and soccer and that kind of stuff. And then once I sort of was like in my 20s, I got back into the gym, but never really sort of took it seriously. Was just doing it for health. Like I wasn't really
Yeah.
serious about it. And then I went through a bit of a phase where I was running and just focusing on running and that kind of stuff. So I never really had a
Okay.
proper regime. And then in my early 30s, I started, F45 was the big hype. So I
Oh
started,
yeah.
I
It's
started,
big here as well. At
yeah, so
45.
that's when
Yeah.
that was kind of all new. So I started doing that and that's when I kind of like really started to love training. And then I I kind of maxed that out as in, the weights and everything that they had there. I got, I was there for a couple of years, but I got very confident and then I was like, okay, I need another challenge. So then that's when I actually joined a gym and then, and then had a PT that was kind of helping me just, know the ins and outs. And then I had thought about competing. Like I hadn't, I didn't have any social media. It wasn't for any of that. I'd just seen it and appreciated it. I had a cousin
Yeah.
who had, like competed and saw what she was able
Yeah.
to achieve and kind of thought, I wonder if this is possible for me, like I was interested in it, but, and then I kind of thought, oh, like I wanted to maybe try and see if it was something I could achieve. And then I guess it was just a bit of a goal that, I thought I'd really love to see where I can take myself. So I was lucky enough to kind of then, come across my coach. And then it was more about just, I suppose, just making sure I was like, ready, like learning, like the basics, just making sure I was eating the right food and being consistent with training, nutrition before I even thought about, preparation, to be honest,
Yeah.
or a comp prep. And then what kind of pushed it along the line for me a bit further was unfortunately, about 7 or so years ago, I lost my brother. He unfortunately got,
Oh,
yeah, very
so
sick
sorry.
all of a sudden. Yeah, to cancer. It was really fucking shit. And it
Ah,
was
sorry.
it was a very small
Sorry
window, and
to
we
hear
we were
that.
really close. And
Yeah.
I used to train, he used to train, and
I saw some
you know,
posts on your
yeah,
Instagram about it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm so sorry for your
yeah.
loss. He
No,
was
no,
also
thank you.
your. He was also your involved in your. Was he your coach as well? Was he
No, no,
involved in
no, no,
your?
no, no, no. He
No,
wasn't
I
my
know.
coach. No, 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 no.
No,
We were very.
I thought he was involved in your preparation.
Oh, no, 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 no,
No,
not
no, no.
not my brother.
Okay.
No, no, no. He just gave me shit
Okay.
for it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was sort of all happened within about a 4 or 5 month period. So that was very unexpected. But
Yeah, I can
from
imagine.
from there, I from the day that he passed, it's like it sounds really silly, but people obviously don't understand when you kind of say bodybuilding. Like it saved me, like it really did, because every morning the only reason I got out of bed was to go to gym, because I was like, well, what else am I going to get out of bed for? Like obviously I had a job, but with everything that happened, I just, I'd taken a few months off work, and
Of course.
it was like, and I was spending time at home with my family, but it was literally like I had no purpose to get out of bed. So every morning I got
I
up early and
understand.
still went
Yeah.
to the gym and would just push myself and focus on what I was eating and my training, because that was the only thing I felt like I had control over in my life. So,
Of
and it just
course,
gave
yeah.
me a bit of a purpose, so that kind of really helped me there, and that's what sort of just pushed me to go, okay, well, there's things I can't control in my life, but I can control this. So I just
That's
kind of use that as fuel to just give me
yeah,
reason, give me purpose, other than my family, of course. And then from there the passion just grew and grew, and then that's what and then we did one competition, and then I just wanted to, just keep getting better and better, and then that's just pretty much how it's evolved. I've been with my
yeah.
coach ever since the start, and he's just been fucking like a godsend, and absolutely supportive. So he's I think when I first met him I was like 48 kilos, just like a twig.
48 kilos.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I've seen your picture where you compared when you started and where you are
Yeah, and I
now.
had
Wow.
twigs
Yeah,
for legs.
you are like double the size.
Yeah.
Wow. What an incredible transformation.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So so that's kind of how it all sort of how I kind of really fell into it, and then I've never looked back. Yeah, I've never looked
And you
back.
never looked back.
Yeah.
So, and the, when you decided to compete, was your decision, or maybe you had a coach or a PT that, maybe you got
Yeah,
good
no,
chance to
no, I,
compete?
I
How did
definitely,
it?
I decided, and then, when I did the first show, like, I was happy, but I was like, no, I want more, and it was more of like a bikini kind of fitness kind of
Okay,
thing, and I was
okay,
like, nah, that's not really me. Let's focus on adding more muscle, and then so I kind of, focused on growing again, and then like I said, and then that's when that federation sort of just turned out that it wasn't really for me, and I was like, no, IFBB is, the heart of bodybuilding,
IFBB.
and then and then now it's just, you can never get bloody big enough. That's how I feel now.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, you always try to
Yeah.
improve, to get. That's
Yeah.
that's uh, that's the tough part, as for
Yeah.
you as being a professional bodybuilder. That of
Mm.
course, yeah, you never see yourself enough. You
Yeah.
always what that's what drives you to keep getting
Yeah.
better and improve and improve. In your mind, what's your ideal physique that you would like to attain and bring on stage?
Oh, ideal physique.
Yeah, how do you picture yourself to feel like, oh, I feel I reached? I know that bodybuilders, they never feel
I was gonna say it's
finished.
I just
Yeah,
can't
it's
see an
never a
end picture,
finished.
like it's always, yeah.
Yeah, it's never a finished job because
Yeah.
yeah, in your mind you always want to get better.
You
But
always want to
ideal,
evolve. Yeah, I think
yeah.
in my last in my pro debut, I was happy with the symmetry I was able to
Oh
create,
yes,
like
oh
having
yes.
that taper, the small waist, and everything. So
And the
I
conditioning was really good,
yeah,
really
yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah, which is good. So I think if I can, get in more width and shape, and or sorry, more width and thickness through my upper, and then still
yeah,
having that X factor, and my lower body as is,
yeah,
that to me
yeah,
is
yeah,
like,
yeah.
just bringing up my size in my upper a bit more. But I think for me that was the biggest thing that I was really happy with, was the shape that we were able to
The
create,
shape.
and just to have that symmetry, and still have that small tiny waist, and yeah, the condition, because obviously, getting as you get older, it is, your condition
Tougher.
does,
Yeah.
it does get a lot harder for some people. And, I mean, to be on stage with some girls that were literally half my age, like in their 20s. And, I was like, yeah, we're doing good.
But you do, yeah, you showed them, yeah,
Yeah.
what you can do. So,
Yeah.
I mean, your conditioning was definitely, yeah, your
Yeah.
strongest part on that
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
That was really, really impressive, especially
Yeah.
because in women's physique is crucial. It's one of the,
It's
I think
crucial.
it's
Yeah.
the, yeah, I think it's the division where the conditioning
Yeah.
is more relevant. Definitely much
Yeah.
more than in a
Absolutely.
figure. Women's
Yeah.
bodybuilding, of course, is conditioning, but
Yeah.
it's more size wise. But
It's a bit, bit on the,
women's
it's a
physique,
bit of both.
yeah,
Yeah.
women's physique, I like it because it's got the perfect balance
Balance.
between
Yeah.
figure and
Yeah.
women's bodybuilding.
Yeah. But it's,
And I
so I
like
think,
the
but yeah.
posing as well. Yeah, I
Of
really like the
course.
posing. It's very elegant. I
Yeah.
mean, I love the posing in every division, but I
Yeah.
like the idea of women's physique
Yeah.
that is slightly different from women's bodybuilding, but yeah, in a
Yeah.
more elegant way.
Yeah.
Nothing against the women's bodybuilding. I love that as well. But
No,
women's
so do
physique,
I. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's just different. But
Yeah. Of course.
I
Yeah.
really, yeah. And another thing I wanted to ask you:
Yeah.
how's your mindset changed since you started back in the day
Mm.
competing to now? How
Yeah.
has your do you feel bodybuilding has changed also
Yeah.
the way you approach things in life
Yeah.
in general?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, look, I think, I think because of the discipline that it's
The
taught me, do you
discipline.
know what I mean? Like it's, so I think
Yes.
probably the discipline, the discipline and, just being able to, just constantly show up, and don't not to
Yes.
ever let yourself get defeated, with anything. Like you can only expect what you put in, So I think that's relevant, not just with bodybuilding, as in if you're not going to train right or you're not going to eat right, you can't expect to get on stage and look amazing, Whereas when you tick all those
Of
boxes,
course. Yeah.
you're doing everything
Sure.
that you can. And I think it's the same with like going to work or anything like that, like you can only expect out of it what you put in, So if you're going to half-ass your job at work, well, you're going to get a half-ass result. So, so that's probably the biggest thing for me. I'm definitely someone that, I do like to push myself to the extreme. I don't like to quit. So even if it's, whether it's work or personal, it's
No.
like, yeah, it's easy to just throw the towel in and go fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to the need to constantly always want to be better and do better. So, and I think that's something that, even with my parents, like being Italian and, they moved over here and couldn't speak a word of English and had to learn everything
Of
and,
course.
nothing was
Yeah.
handed to them. They had to work their ass
They
off
have to.
for it. And,
Yeah. They have to
and
work.
some
Yeah.
people
Hard.
might say, especially with, the way today's generation are, it's like, you kind of get on the pat on the back just for participating. But it's like, well, no, you got to put some effort in. You know what I mean? Like
Of
nothing's just going
course.
to be
Yeah.
given
Yeah.
to you. So, yeah, so if I want to, if I want to keep going and succeed, here, then I just need to keep putting in the work day in, day out. That's probably the biggest thing that it's helped me with, and just remaining humble. Like I
Yeah.
genuinely never think I'm better than anyone in any walk of life. Like I'm always open to learning, something new, like you can never
Yep.
stop learning in any facet of life, Yeah. So I think that's the
Wow.
biggest thing, that it's just kept me humble and just kept me like appreciative of what my body is able to do for me as well, Yeah.
I love that. Yes, I
Yeah.
really appreciate your answer.
Yeah.
It shows the real essential, no, the real
Yeah.
meaning of bodybuilding. It's
Yeah.
not just a physical
Yeah.
appearance, but it's
Yeah.
everything that give you in your mind
Yeah.
with the discipline, and they
Yeah.
give you a reason when you explained that it helped you to overcome the
Yeah.
difficult time when your brother
Yeah.
passed away. And
Yeah.
it's a bigger thing than just going
Yeah.
to the gym and lifting weights.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
a much bigger
Absolutely. Yeah.
picture that
Yeah.
can improve your life
Yeah.
360 degrees
Yeah.
or in every
Yeah.
aspect.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
give you a reason to keep going,
Yeah.
pushing, and get better. So this is
Yeah.
something that I much appreciate with athletes like
Yeah.
yourself when
Yeah.
they live this lifestyle. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And what has been the absolute best moment in your career as a bodybuilder, and the toughest and most challenging moment as a bodybuilder?
But, I mean, look, probably the most rewarding would definitely have been, earning my pro status, because it's something that,
Okay,
you work
becoming a
towards
pro.
for
Yeah,
so long. So I guess earning that, definitely would have been, one of the highlights.
of
So
course.
that
Yeah.
was definitely a highlight and rewarding. What would be the most challenging?
I mean, has there ever been a moment when you thought like, oh, well, yeah, that you had doubts or
Mm,
challenges that you thought,
yeah,
oh, maybe, or maybe you never had this.
yeah.
Just try
I mean,
to understand if you had
definitely,
them.
like, I think the doubts, you definitely have. Like, everyone's human at the end of the day, so I
Yeah,
can't imagine anyone not ever doubting themselves or what they're capable of. But I think, again, having that, with what bodybuilding has taught me, just having that resilience and having that mindset to, to keep pushing and just to believe in yourself. Obviously there's definitely been times, even in the prep for my pro debut, where I was like, fuck it, I'm not good enough, like, and just having that reinforcement, from my coach or things like that, that, like, you're here for a reason, you've come this far, like, you're not going to give up, not that I would have given up, but, where you do have that self-doubt, so there's definitely
self
been
doubt. Yeah.
times that, not anything that would ever that's ever made me stop and question, like, what I'm doing or should I be doing this, but
Okay.
definitely plenty
Okay.
of times where I've had doubt, or, especially when you're prepping, you can't see, your eyes don't show you the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
got prep vision.
Yeah, and then I guess when they called you on the awards in Romania and they
Yeah,
placed you, of course, you were in the first call out, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
were aiming for a top five. You came top four at your pro
yeah,
debut. In that moment, yeah,
yeah.
you must have thought, all right, I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Oh, but
I'm
yeah,
top four. This is the
yeah,
best top
yeah.
four lineup in Europe. So I'm good.
Ah,
Is that what you?
Oh,
Yeah,
it
what you
was
probably.
yeah, absolutely incredible, and then it's like, okay, now let's see if we can finish in top three, at the night show. But again, because
Yeah. Well.
it's never giving up, so you've got to keep pushing, and people might laugh and say, oh, you're crazy, but it's like, well, you've got to have big dreams at the end of the day, so it was
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
the
It's
goal
it's a
was top
dream.
five, and like you said, when we did get first call outs and you were in the top four, it was like, you never know what can happen
Yeah.
at the night show. We might be able to get that third spot, so, but definitely that was, to walk away with like a podium finish, like, definitely, yeah, yeah,
That's amazing, and I'm sure
yeah.
at your next show you will get closer and closer to
I hope so.
the. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
hope
You
so.
will see. You will see. I mean,
Yeah,
I believe in your potential.
yeah, thank you.
I repeat, when I saw you in Romania, I was like, oh, who is this girl? Oh,
Yeah,
she looks good. Yeah. So I thought.
yeah,
Yes, oh, she's Lidia from Australia. All right, very,
yeah,
very promising athlete. It's great. So I hope to be. If you compete in Europe, I hope to be there and witness
yeah, of course,
your
yeah, me
next show.
too.
I will definitely be in Germany and in Romania again this
Okay.
season. So if you
Well,
decide
if
to
I'm doing
compete
one
one
of
of
them, I'll
those
let
shows,
you know.
I will. Yeah, I will be there. It would be great to do an interview in
Of
person.
course,
That would
of
be.
course.
I would have loved to interview you in Romania, but I didn't see you after the show
Yeah,
around, so I didn't
yeah. I think
have the chance to.
after the show, we probably weren't there for too long. After the show, it was more like packing up our stuff, and then yeah. So I probably wasn't there for too much longer after the show. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay. I mean, you've been working hard, preparing for that show, and
yeah,
probably after the show, with the excitement of the
yeah,
results and the hunger, because I'm sure you
yeah,
wanted to eat after that. Probably probably you went to relax and eat something and enjoy a little
Yeah,
bit the after show, which is fair
yeah,
enough, fair enough. But
yeah.
yeah, next at the next show, if you're coming to Europe and I happen to be there, I would love to do an interview in
Absolutely,
person
me
with
too.
you
Yeah, of
and
course.
capture all your emotions straight off the
Yeah.
stage. Yes, or maybe even
Of
after
course.
the prejudging as well. Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
So yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll see. But keep me posted on
I
your
will.
next plans. That would be awesome. And one more questions I wanted to ask
Of
you.
course.
If you had a time machine and you could
Mm.
fly back in time, yeah, and what would you when would you fly back and what would you do if you want to do something different in your prep or in your in what you did as a professional
If I
athlete?
could, if I could go back, honestly, I think the biggest thing would be to have started earlier.
Started
To have
earlier.
started
All right.
earlier.
Oh yeah,
Like
because you said
I
you
know that
started.
everyone says, everything happens for a reason, but it's like I'm 41 now, nearly 42. Like I started in my 30s. Like imagine if I started where
Um,
I could be. So I don't think
yeah.
I regret
True.
anything about the journey, but I just wish I had started earlier. Yeah.
Okay. So the only thing,
Yeah.
yeah, is yeah, going
Yeah.
back a few years earlier and say, all right, let's
Yeah.
do it from now. Yeah.
And
Fair
pretty much,
enough.
yeah, just to have started earlier, yeah, or yeah, that probably would have be the biggest thing because time is, I mean, time is valuable. You can't get time back. So I think that at the end of the day, the
True.
road bumps and speed bumps that happen across along the way, I guess that they're all, that maybe they are there to teach you lessons and things like that. But yeah, definitely, if it would be ideal to to have started earlier to see where your body could be at
Yeah.
and what level you could be at. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, of course. But
Yeah.
still, I mean, unfortunately, there's no time machine. But still, now,
Yeah.
yeah, you are. I think you are making up for all that time you didn't you didn't prepare before.
Yeah.
I mean, when you were living a different life, still you're catching up
Yeah.
very fast. So,
I hope so.
considering your current results, yeah, I mean, I think you have. Still, and honestly, I mean, you are 41, you said.
Yeah, 41, nearly
Yeah,
42.
nearly 40. I think that's one of the best age
Yeah.
for bodybuilding. If you think about
Yeah.
you're same age as Andrea Shaw. I think she's 42,
Yeah.
43, something like that.
Yeah.
And she's at the peak of her career.
And she's at the peak.
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, many, I think. Yeah, all the top athletes
Mm.
they reach their peak in their 40s.
Yeah.
So if you think
Yeah.
about, okay, no, I was thinking about Ele Trevino. Yes, she started very very
Yeah.
long time ago, but she reached
Yeah.
her peak in her mid 40s.
There's a lot. Yeah, we
So
were talking the other day about not that it's women's, but men's opens like Andrew Jack. He's 42, and like
oh,
how
I saw
the
him last
success he's having, and
weekend.
it's like he's looking like he could be taking the crown at Olympia this year. And he's 42. So yeah, it's yeah, there definitely
Exactly.
is a lot of them that are of a
Ah,
an older age anyway. Not, I
absolutely.
don't mean old, but as in not in their 20s or early 30s. Yeah.
No, no, it's not. But I
Yeah.
mean, he looks incredible. I saw him
He
last
does.
weekend. Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the second I saw him in Romania as well.
Yeah.
He was in Romania last. And, oh, yeah,
Yeah, I know. Seeing
huge
him in
guy.
Romania, he looked,
Yeah,
10 times
yeah.
bigger in real life.
My
Yeah.
God, yeah. And again, yeah, he's in his 40s.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
I
Yeah.
think I think that's where probably the body can reach its peak if done
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah, correct.
So
Yeah.
early 40, you still have
Yeah.
got
We still got time.
all. Oh yes, yeah, you're gonna achieve all your goals, and I can see in your eyes how much you want it, the passion that you
Yeah.
have, and this is all you need. If you have that inner
Yeah.
motivation, that passion that burns inside,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Well, thank you.
it's it's not an easy, but mind in your mindset. You do
that's
it
right.
because you love it, you enjoy it. It's
Yeah,
not, oh yeah, I have to do this, I have to train, I have to eat this, I have to. No, you do it because you like it, you enjoy it, and
yeah.
this is
Yeah, it's
what
not a chore, and that's what I say when people complain about it. It's
exactly.
like if it's a chore, then it's not for you. You know, it's just it should just be part of your everyday life, I guess. You know, yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
And I mean, we're nearly reached the hour, but I
yeah.
wanted to ask you one last
Of
question.
course.
If there is anything you would like to add, to say, to thank, or anything you would like to a message for
No.
for or maybe a message for girls that want to start in this journey and look up to you and
Yeah,
would like
yeah,
to follow your steps. Do you have any
yeah,
advice?
yeah. Honestly, I think just start. Like just start. You like everyone has to start somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people say, like how did you do this, or I wish I could do that, but it's like you've just got to start. Everyone says, yeah, I'm not ready, or I'll start. Then like just start, and you've just got to stay consistent. Like for me, it's been nearly 8 years doing this. It hasn't been a week or a year or 2 years. So
Yeah, 8 years.
everything takes time. So I think the biggest thing is just start.
Just
Just
start,
just
and
start.
you
Just
can.
start, and then just keep going. Like it's not, it's
And in eight
nothing's going
years,
to happen overnight. But yeah, definitely just
exactly. Yeah,
start.
yeah. It's definitely a sport that you
Mm.
can't expect results
Yeah,
now. Yeah, it takes time. It took you
yeah,
8 years to get where you are,
yeah,
which of course to build a body, a physique like
yeah,
yours, it requires time,
yeah,
hard work, passion, dedication, and it's a lifestyle 24/7.
yeah, yeah. That's
So
right. Yeah,
it's even the sleep is part of the process.
of
So
course. Yeah,
everything, yeah, and that's great. And I'm sure you are already um, one of the athletes to look up, especially for other athletes in Australia that
oh,
want
thank you.
to follow your steps. So I'm sure you're gonna get much more results and
Yeah,
achievements in the
I
upcoming
hope so.
months.
Thank you. I appreciate
Of course,
that.
of
Yeah,
course. And before we leave, Lydia, would you like to give us a quick biceps flex that we can use
sure.
as a cover? Yeah,
Sure.
nice. Let's see. Lidia Dichiera, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Wow. Amazing front double biceps. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Looking
Thank you for having me. I
incredible.
really appreciate your time. And hopefully in my next pro show I might be able to see you. And yeah, we can definitely catch up in person.
Yes, that will
Yeah,
be amazing. I will be 100% in Germany and in Romania this
perfect.
season. So if you are going to do one of those shows,
Yeah,
I will
I'll
for
keep you
sure see you
posted.
there. Yes. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best in this prep. Keep me
Same to
posted,
you. Yeah,
please.
thank you.
And I will post this in the next couple of days. I want to also add maybe some pictures, videos
Of
from
course.
Romania to
Yeah,
integrate with the interviews to
yeah,
make a really nice
of course.
podcast episode.
Of
Lydia,
course.
thank you so much for
Thank you,
your
Claudio. I
time, for
appreciate your time
everything.
as well. Thank you so
You
much.
are awesome, and I'll tag you and make also a story
Perfect. Yeah.
and a post on Instagram as well with the links.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. You enjoy your day because your day is just getting started.
Oh yes, 10:36. Yeah, for you it's probably what is it? Eight
At eight
thirty.
thirty.
Eight
8:30
thirty.
p.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, it's on the
No
other side
worries.
of the world.
I
Yeah.
know.
All right.
You enjoy. Thank you so
Excellent.
much, Claudio. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much to you.
See ya.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.